couple, yeah, good.
Uh, Yes, I actually would like to make another comment on that particular item about 4th of July fireworks, because I know Washougal is the strictest, has the strictest code in all of Clark County. But you know what happened on our street on the 4th of July? We all got together, all the families came out, we set up chairs all the way along the street, and we all shot off fireworks and celebrated the 4th of July. It was terrific. And we've never done that before, and it was all spontaneous.
I just wanted to also mention, I went down to Cottonwood Beach for the city's fireworks, and it was a wonderful crowd down there. Everyone had a good time. I had a number of people who wanted to know why there were no food vendors and several other things like that. And I said, well, their budget was an issue and maybe next year. And I particularly wanted to thank both the Public Works crew and the police crew who were down there. They were very good at their jobs and great examples for our community. And thank you very much. And thanks to them also, Chief.
Any other items from council? Okay, seeing none, we're going to go right into the agenda bills. Agenda Bill 101-10, the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act certification notice for the E Street Improvements Project.
Mr. Mayor.
Joanne.
And council members, I'm sitting in for Trevor this evening, but I'd like to remind council that it did approve application for the USDA loan, which is what this relates to, and it relates to putting in do the water line improvements in conjunction with the East Street project. You did approve that on May 17th. The mayor it's my understanding that the mayor could have signed this certificate without council's authorization or concurrence. However, he desires that anything related to East Street be out in the open for council to know what actions are being taken by staff. And we ask for your concurrence to authorize that he signs this. The city cannot receive funding unless this certification is complete. Therefore, the recommended action is to authorize the mayor to sign the ARA certification for the East Street Improvement Project.
Mr. Mayor, I move that council authorize the mayor to sign the ARRA certification for the E Street Improvement Project.
Second.
Okay, I've got a motion and a second. Council discussion? John?
I want to remind council that when this came before the council, one of the other options that we had on the table was a councilmatic bond. This motion passed with a 3-3 vote, with the mayor breaking the tie. I think, my personal opinion, I think the councilmatic bond is preferable in this situation to give us more control locally over the future of this project and financing. And so I encourage my fellow council members to vote against this tonight, and for us to consider a councilmatic bond being brought forward. Thank you.
Dave?
Question for the staff. Joanne, what's the agenda number on this one?
101.
Okay. Make sure. Does
Two
it-
agenda bills were included in the consent agenda.
Okay. I got it. Thank you.
I have a question.
Jennifer.
So this is just out of courtesy. This is not something really that the city council, needs to approve. You just wanted to bring it back. For what reason?
As contentious as E Street has been, I want to make sure that you get everything that's coming through on this one.
I see. Yeah, but the next one won't. It's also American Recovery and Reinvestment Act monies, and it's for not something that's the East Street. It's the Zone 4 reservoir. That's a totally different project.
The ARA funds are not, though.
Right. Okay.
Molly?
I would just like to ask if the councilmatic bond is still an option, a viable
Yes.
option?
Yes.
Okay. And so are we locking ourselves in by approving? Okay?
No, not whatsoever. Matter of fact, we directed RJ to get in touch with the city's bonding agent after the meeting where 2, 3, 4 meetings ago when we talked about the options of councilmanic bonds versus the USDA loans and loans in certain terms and forms. And they are preparing a workshop to come forward in regards to city bonding in general and bonding that has to do with that, with some options for you as well.
Okay.
All this does is keeps the process going for the USDA loan certifications as an option when you get down to that road. But at that point, you'll still have say over whether you approve of the loan or a councilmanic bond or wherever you may go at that point.
Okay.
Dave?
A question for the staff, if I may. What's the effect on the project timelines if we decide at this point for a councilmatic bond?
I believe that the mayor just mentioned that we have enough time for that, but I'm not aware specifically of what the timeline is.
We're prepared to move with either funding vehicle and continue to keep the project on timeline.
Okay, thank you.
Rod?
The way I'm looking at this, and I understand everybody's opinion on, or I don't know that I understand it, let me rephrase that. I believe that they're standing tall in their beliefs about this stimulus funding, but I also want this tool in the toolbox to use if it's something we need to. In other words, the way I'm looking at this is that if we had to spend it on the E Street and then do the councilmatic bond on the Zone 4 reservoir, I mean, I just want this to be a tool in the box that we can utilize if we have to. But as long as staff has been put in charge of making sure all of those options are put on the table at a workshop, that's the way I like to see it.
Right.
We're not committed, and it's just another tool to use if we have to.
And just a point of clarification, if this is voted down tonight, the mayor can still sign off on it, correct?
Mm-hmm.
This is just a courtesy vote.
Yep.
Yes.
I want to correct a misapprehension. Councilmanic bonds are not flexible. When you sign the bond contract, you are committing to make either annual or semi-annual payments of an exact amount for an exact term. You cannot pay more. You cannot pay early. On the other hand, the ARRA loans and in particular, the Department of Agriculture loan is very flexible. If you are feeling flush, you can pay it down faster. But then maybe 5, 6, 7 years later, things are tight, you can pull back and pay down only according to the balance that's out there. So the FDA loan is much more flexible in its repayment schedule. You can pay it off early, you can pay it off in varying amounts. Councilmanic bonds, not true.
Yes, Mayor. One thing I wanted to point out as far as the text is concerned, especially for those who haven't actually read the text of what we're talking about tonight, is basically the ARRA, or the stimulus law, requires that the chief executive of whatever agency is receiving the stimulus dollars has to sign a statement, something to the effect of exactly what we have here, which is I, Sean Gard, Mayor of the